Maria Imelda Josefa Remedios Imee, Romualdez Marcos-Manotoc, born November 12, 1955, is a Filipino politician and film producer, serving as senator since 2019. She is the daughter of former President Ferdinand Marcos and former First Lady Imelda Marcos, an elder sister of current President Bongbong Marcos. Her career has been marked by significant political achievements, controversies over her education, allegations of corruption, and links to the martial law regime of her father. She has approximated net worth of $5 billion. Early life and family background. Imelda Marcos was born in Mandaluyong, Rizal, now part of Metro Manila. She grew up with siblings Bongbong, Irene, and adopted sister Imee. Her childhood unfolded during her father's rise to the presidency in 1965, which brought the family to Malacanang Palace. She later described the palace as overly formal and restrictive for children. Public protests outside the palace, sometimes met with violent suppression, limited the first family's ability to live normally, leading her to shift schools multiple times. Education and controversies. Imee's educational history is a major source of public dispute. Primary and secondary. She attended several institutions, including St. Pedro Poveda College, Assumption Convent, and the American School, now International School Manila. She falsely claimed to have graduated valedictorian from Santa Catalina School in California. The school confirmed she attended briefly in 1972, but never graduated. Princeton University. Enrolled in 1973 to study religion and politics, Imee withdrew twice, 1976 and 1979, and did not earn a degree. Princeton's records and public statements confirm she never graduated, though she later claimed otherwise in official bios. University of the Philippines College of Law. Entered in 1979 without the usual prerequisite of a college degree. Faculty resisted political pressure to grant her a degree. She did not graduate but participated in a staged mock graduation ceremony, later using the false magna cum laude claim in her resume. Asian Institute of Management. She claimed a MA Management and Business Administration degree, but AIM stated they have never offered such a program. These false credentials became a recurring controversy, resurfacing during her 2019 Senate run. Early political career under martial law. When Ferdinand Marcos declared martial law in 1972, Imee was studying abroad. She returned in 1977 to head the Kabatang Barangay KB, a government-created youth organization. That same year, Mapua Institute of Technology student Archimedes Trajano publicly questioned her KB appointment. He was abducted, tortured, and killed shortly after. In a later U.S. court case, Imee was found liable and ordered to pay damages to Trajano's family. She became an assemblywoman for Ilocos Norte in the Batasang Pambansa in 1984 and held media roles, including directing the Experimental Cinema of the Philippines, ECP, producing films like Scorpio Nights. The ECP, initially aimed at artistic filmmaking, later turned to explicit bold films to raise funds amid the 1980s economic crisis. Exile and return. The Marcos regime collapsed in the 1986 People Power Revolution, and the family fled to Hawaii. They lived in properties linked to close associates. Ferdinand Marcos died in exile in 1989. President Corazon Aquino allowed the family's return in 1991. Political comeback in Ilocos Norte. In 1998, Imee was elected Congresswoman for Ilocos Norte's 2nd District, succeeding her brother Bongbong, and served 3 terms until 2007. In 2010, she defeated her cousin Michael Marcos Kian to become governor of Ilocos Norte, serving 3 consecutive terms until 2019. During her governorship, she claimed poverty rates dropped, but official data indicated an increase. Her tenure was marred by the Ilocos Norte tobacco excise tax funds controversy. Cuban peso 66 million in funds meant for farmer development were allegedly misused to purchase overpriced vehicles, some traced to her longtime partner, Mark Chua's company. The House of Representatives recommended charges. A separate ombudsman investigation followed. Wealth and offshore accounts. Imee has been repeatedly linked to the Marcos family's unexplained wealth, which the Philippine Supreme Court has ruled as ill-gotten. She appears in the Panama Papers as a beneficiary of offshore trusts in the British Virgin Islands, along with her sons and other relatives. These were not disclosed in her legally required statements of assets, liabilities, and net worth, CLN. She was also named a beneficiary of illegal Swiss foundations uncovered in her mother's 2018 graft conviction. Other career roles. Outside politics, Imee founded Renegade Filmmakers in 1996 and later creamed content distribution, producing media projects in film, animation, and games. She previously hosted and produced children's TV programs in the late 1970s and early 1980s. Senate career, 2019, present. Imee filed her Senate candidacy in 2018, campaigning despite renewed scrutiny of her education claims. She won 8th place in the 2019 election. Early in her term, she chaired the Committee on Cultural Communities. Notable bills included expanding the definition of adultery to include men, abolishing the Department of Budget and Management's procurement service amid corruption issues, and creating agricultural support programs. She also filed her own version of the SOGI bill. Stances and alliances. In foreign policy, Imee has expressed trust in China over South China Sea disputes, falsely stating China had never invaded Philippine territory. Domestically, she has opposed term limits, a position linked historically to her father's dictatorship. Her political alliances shifted during her brother Bongbong's presidency. Amid tensions between the Marcos and Duterte families, she often aligned with the Dutertes, receiving endorsement from Vice President Sara Duterte for her 2025 re-election bid. She won 12th place, securing a second Senate term. Major controversies. Educational fabrications. Persistent false claims of graduating from Princeton, Up Law, Santa Catalina School, and AIM. Trajano case. U.S. court found her liable for the torture and murder of Archimedes Trajano. Ill-gotten wealth. Offshore accounts, Panama Papers links, and beneficiary status in Swiss foundations. Tobacco fund misuse. Alleged illegal diversion of excise tax funds for overpriced vehicle purchases. Revisionism allegations. Statements minimizing her role during martial law despite holding official posts at the time. Legacy and public perception. Imee Marcos' career reflects the resilience of the Marcos political dynasty, which regained influence after exile despite the 1987 Constitution's anti-dynasty provision. Supporters credit her with cultural and economic initiatives in Ilocos Norte and her legislative proposals in the Senate. Critics view her as emblematic of political impunity, citing her role in martial law abuses, wealth controversies, and misleading public claims. As of her second Senate term beginning in 2025, Imee remains a polarizing figure, praised by loyalists for political skill and persistence, condemned by opponents for unresolved human rights and corruption issues tied to both her own career and her family's legacy. Thank you for watching this video. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe.